get stuck in, eh? So we're looking at here with Biddy. We may as well just come right back out to the monthly. Now we're watching this 913 candle last month before I took a little break, and we're just seeing it really pushed, like this candle here pushed down up from like 17 all the way to basically like 30k. And this month started off bullish. And if we drop down to the weekly, this is the first time we've seen a red candle in quite a while. Still 5 days left, plenty of time. This is the one I'm starting to look at now, where we're getting that daily close. So what I'm looking at with this, if we drop to the 4 hour, is this trend within a trend. So let's actually flip back to the daily. So here's a nice daily uptrend. It had multiple touches on this, and then we hit that really parabolic stage around 2 weeks before Christmas. And just watching Biddy's just done, like, since we popped the top here at 20k, and done like 76% in 2 weeks. Pretty nuts for something. How big Bitcoin has become over the years. It's not like pushing from 3k to 5k. It's a whole different story when we're talking about 20 to 35. So what I'm looking at the moment is the possibility of this break-in trend. I'm watching this in the videos in the day. This is the smaller trend within that longer daily trend. So what we've been watching here is closes below this moving average, which is the 50. And closes in this box to then come down another leg. So we got stuck, top down on the 9 again, got stuck around the 35k mark. Drew this in the other day was, if I was thinking that this trend, if it does hold, then we're going to push right up into the corner, possibly pop out the top, or would fall quite heavily down. So what we're looking for here, now that we're starting to close these 4 hourly candles outside of this trend, drop down to the hourly, and you can see that we've broken out, come back up, tried to get back in, and this like psychological level of 30k has been tested 3 times, and we've got a change in market structure in the hourly. So we've got here, we've got a high, 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 low, high, 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 low. This area here is where we failed to go any higher. So when we were looking here, I was waiting for, this was where I thought we were going to go and have a bit of a breather, if not popping up the top, but that would have to make a new high here, popping up the top and then buying that retest. But Biddy's gone on an insane run since March, hasn't really had too many spots where it's pulled back. Might need a breather for a little while, but this is just showing me like we got new market structure here. We've got that lower high, lower low, lower high. Does this now reject and come down here and create that lower low? And when I'm looking for the lows, I'm looking for closes as well. Because when we start looking at this, like this wick was, within 15 minutes, and it was like, if we drop down to that time frame, within the hour it just recovered. There was one, big wick to the downside, plenty of buyers coming in. But you can see that the volume's really starting to pick up. Same way we had here, and now we're just getting tapering off volume, starting to pick up a little bit. So it really needs to get back inside here. Well, this is a trend, it's pretty subjective to where people draw them. The real area I'm looking for here is that 30k mark. So 4 hourly closes. The higher time frame you go up, the more significant these become. So you can see in that 4 hour candle, we got this massive wick to the downside. Didn't actually close. It still closed inside this trend. So if you started shorting down here, saying, oh, yep, cool, waiting for candles to close before you start looking for shorts. Now we've come back and we have started closing outside. This 30k mark is now the next area of interest. So breaking this, coming back, retesting that 30k. but it does need to close below here first for me to be looking for any sort of shorts. And if we're looking for shorts, I'm only looking for shorts back to this daily trend and significant levels. So like, you know, the 24k. Good news is now that we're above here, we've got 30k is holding that as support. We've got support, really strong support back here at 24. Expect some sort of bounce if it did get down to that level. And then we've got this huge amount of support now at 20k, which was the prior high from what, 17. And just was so much resistance trying to get through. Although once it did pop, popped quite easily. So a little look at the dominance chart. This is what I've been looking at in the daily video. Here, big bearish engulfing, broke trend. So a similar kind of thing was looking at with Bitcoin. Now we're broke the trend, get onto the 4 hour. Never really came back and retested. It was just a straight break. Here, big bearish engulfing. Now I've broken this level of support at 69.52 and heading down here. So this is what I was looking for when I drew these lines back on the 3rd of Jan. Just waiting for the break of this level here, coming back and retesting it. So looking for this still to be coming back down to this next level at about 57%. This chart is dominance. So when this chart trends downwards, alts start running. When it's trending up, which is most of the time when Bitcoin's either rising or dumping hard, alts do bleed. But we've seen alts bleed pretty hefty over the last little while. So now it might be the time we can get some nice change of market structure here. We've already broken these, drew these the other day, and get rid of them now. Already in this next zone. We can start creating new market structure now with the dominance chart. Then looking for alts to have a bit of a run, but this probably does need a bit of a pullback, getting a bit tired out here on the RSI, but similar to what we saw here, we broke this trend. The same trend with dominance, broke, came down, you know, basically had 100% retrace. So just watching this, could be some time for some alts. Have bought myself some sort of longer term alt bags, but just keeping an eye on this dominance chart, seeing what Bitcoin does. You know, this pops back up here, moves sideways, gets a bit boring. That's when the dominance chart seems to drop. But when Bitty's trending and making big moves, alts do tend to get quite smashed. What's up, guys? How we doing? Anything anyone wants me to chart? I'm probably gonna have only do about a half an hour stream tonight. Got some other stuff on and doing SOS 45 over NBA, so I'm quite tired. Yeah, so we're looking at that. These are some of the coins I'm looking at as well, so we might go through some of this list. Have a bit of a sus. So this is one of the things. Watching, we did get the pop, knocked straight back into resistance here. It's an ETH pair, so it's kind of strange. Trying to trade it, and ETH's just gone on that massive run. So anything against ETH, the same way as BTC pairs. Drop quite heavily when BTC is on a run. Same thing happens with ETH, so it's kind of an inception. You gotta go 3 levels deep to try and figure out the dollar value. But just watching this, waiting for a break, and we had that break in trend, came back up and just hit that level of resistance. So just watching what it does here. Still need to get above that 50 moving average for me. Only starting to form the 200 now because it's a fairly new coin. Listed on Binance, but I'm collecting these, do earn them passively through Axie as well. So always just keeping an eye on it, not really looking to trade it, but just keeping an eye. Now we did get a pop here on, this is the other Axie token, but has now continued down and continuing to make, kind of leave that in there, continue to make just lower lows, lower highs, so market structure hasn't changed. Need this to pop back up. It's going to have some pretty rough resistance here. We got plenty of structure over to the left, so just watching. Verge did buy a bag the other day. If we go out to the daily, you can see a bit better on this. Had that really nice double bottom, big bullish engulfing candle, and now it's just playing around with this level of resistance at 29 sats. 30 sats, and just seeing if it can break this smaller downtrend, but there's a decent amount up to 50 sats from here. Oh, sorry, it's for 60 sats. And even if we go down, it's my first target, it's about 72% here, which is the same up as that prior high. But looking for this, a bit of change in market structure here. So we kind of found a bottom on verge at about 23, 24 sats down here. Came back down, double bottoms, looking for this to start making new market structure and move its way up. If you can get past this level here, it's got pretty smooth sailing back up to 96 sats, which it hasn't been for, well, I did get there in June. I haven't been watching Verge enough over this year, but definitely one of the coins that can run quite well when we get into a nice bull market and alts start having their little run for alt season. We'll look at ETH. So this is the trade we were looking at once it did break up. If we go on the 4 hourly, if you get the hourly, it's even better. This is where we're looking for longs on ETH. Had this nice level of resistance, nice double bottom, same kind of thing we were looking at on Verge, where it had that nice big clean double bottom, big bullish engulfing. If you go to the daily candle, similar stuff here. We had that nice double bottom, big bullish engulfing, and made its way up. So the trade for here was once it pushed past, not FOMOing in anywhere here, waiting for that comeback and a retest, because this had so much structure over to the left. We're looking for it to, once it did pop up, we were getting pretty high up on the RSI here on the hourly. Was waiting for that pullback and then buying that level of resistance, which is now support, and then pretty clear skies for ETH to that next target. We're going to have a bit of, we can see we're getting trouble here. It's had a few wicks to the upside, trying to get past it. Back from this structure over here to the left. But apart from this level, which is kind of stuck at now, there's reasonably clear skies all the way back up to where we got to in September this year. So very bullish on ETH this year. Seeing how this trade plays out, nice risk reward. It's 30% to the upside, but it's also 7.45 as a stop loss, and nice 4-to-1 risk reward. Still waiting on this trade on Walton Chain. If anyone's been around for a while, they know this coin has been around for a while and has pumped. If we have a look at the monthly, you can see how much this thing is down. It takes a while to scroll here. Like at some point this is trading at basically what ETH's trading at now, back in 17. So this is one of the coins I'm looking for entries to grab a scalp on and sort of hold through this next alt season, where we saw everything just does insane amounts. And from where we are now, there's 20,000% back to its previous high. So just building scalp bags, trying to find a decent trade on them, and then holding the profits in that coin. So there's a fair few of these coins I'm trying to look at. But been on a really long downtrend, broke that. It looks like I'm hoping here that we get a change in market structure. So what I'm looking for with this is, it's broken this long downtrend, came back, had a bit of a retest, holding this level here now, but we need to start making higher highs and then higher lows for it to start changing market structure, become bullish. And this was the next real decent level of support. There's a few hiccups on the way, but this got back into territory of all-time lows. So there's not that much structure apart from what we see here, like directly to our left. So we're going to get stuck a little bit here to try and push through. If we can get some decent market structure. Moving up, this is the target. Really good risk reward again, looking at 7-to-1, 80% to the top. Keeping that bag as a scalp. Let's have a look. Engine, what are we doing? So still no change in market structure. Been watching this for a while. Can short this, which is good. But what we were watching for a while ago, we got that little break of there. Didn't really do anything. But what we were watching We can probably delete heaps of these now because we're not anywhere near that level. With this really long downtrend that we've been in since like July. I'm just waiting for that to break. Still hasn't broken. And we had this nice level of support here at like 594. If we go back over here, this is like, again, historical lows on the BTC chart. Never been this low before. Has traded, you know, quite high. We've got, and it's traded back up at like 6,200 sats a while ago. Back in March 19, had a few pumps, just waiting for it to find a bottom, change market structure, break this downtrend, and you know, we're not going to be looking for longs until we start trading above this zone here. Even in between there, there's not a huge percentage. 16% is still not too bad. You can get leverage too, so not too bad. But just waiting for this downtrend to break. Just watching and waiting. Eventually, change of market structure will happen. MACD looking like it's possibly going to cross. Hasn't crossed for, you know, and when it has, we only got that little small bounce here. But ultimately, needing this moving average to need to get past this moving average and clear this long downtrend. Ripple. Wish I held this short a whole lot more. So we found this short in our Discord, posted it up. You know, there was a good 23% in that once we broke down. Wishing I'd held it a bit longer, but just watching. About to come to we'll get a daily 9 possibly tomorrow. But for me, Ripple, in between. Oops. We're either going to break this little channel here, and this channel here is still worth like 26%. Pretty decent. You can trade this with leverage too. Binance, you know, market structure still hasn't changed. We're still, you know, making lower highs here, and we've got this 50 moving average that, you know, it has pulled so far away from the 200. Up here we had that nice death cross. Looking at this chart now, after we took that long, took profits, when we had the pullback here, it pulled right into a death cross with a massive wick to the upside. Would have been a really nice place to get another entry, and then trade it down the second leg, but wasn't really paying attention. So just watching this. If we break below, looking for shorts lower. If we break the top, we start closing above this level here. Could potentially look for longs, because even between, you know, that level, between these two levels, probably like 30% no leverage. That spot is pretty good, because it's fallen so heavy. You know, from its peak that it had a little while ago. Ripple dropped, lost like 83% of its value since that Spark token, because it's lost so much coming down. On the way up, the percentages are so much better. Let's have a look. Sushi, just been watching this. It's been on a real tear. Sushi has. I mocked this coin way too much and didn't pay attention to the actual chart. Which is essentially just cost me heaps of money. Just mocking it because it was called sushi, and I was just like, oh, this whole DeFi thing, and now we got something called sushi. But it's done like an insane amount, right? Since, what are we back in? This is like the 4th of November. It's done like 800%. And all it was just a change in market structure and a nice little golden cross. Like things I look for in other coins and things I didn't look for in sushi, which, you know, has essentially just cost me money. We had that long sort of, you know, consolidation period here, and then we got that change in market structure. So once we got that higher high, higher low, and then we broke this level here, that was it. It started pushing up, and now we're sitting in this like fan channel. Reject it again at the top. So looking for this to come back down at the bottom, and then there's probably a huge percentage inside this channel. You can get some sort of like the USDT pair, so super leverage on it. 50% spot. So as long as this thing keeps moving, I'll be looking for longs at the bottom of this channel, looking to take profit at the top. Not looking to really short it because it's sort of counter trend trading. Alternatively, looking for breaks in the bottom of this, and then starting to look at key support levels. So just such nice clean market structure, and I just haven't traded it because I just thought it was a shitcoin. It was my ego that got in the way of this. We're getting really strong support levels here. It was my ignorance, which you don't need that in trading. I was just watching this come back down to this level here. If it comes back and pulls back, really nice spot for longs. And keep your risk reward nice and keep your stop loss nice and tight. If it does break out of this thing here, the only thing I'm worried about is these giant wicks. So that is in the daily chart. I think there's been bitty dropped a bit as well, had a bit of a dump, but like 60% daily candles. The downside of those giant wicks, a little bit worrying. Let's have a look. Might as well keep on the daily. KCS. This is the trade. This is the only trade I'm actually in right at the moment. So, KuCoin is a native token. Same thing as they got with same thing as Binance has with BNB, except this thing costs around $1, I think. If you look at it in dollar terms, probably about around $1. Just broke this really long downtrend. Nice little Morningstar pattern, kind of. But you had that big, that doji on the bottom, followed by the bullish engulfing. As you're breaking trend, enough of these things lined up for me to then want to start looking and start trading this. And if you have a look, probably have to go to the hourly where we got the entry. Had this level of resistance here. I think there's a bit more structure if we really scan back out left. But once we broke that, we're just waiting for it to come back and retest that level. We got the retest. We've had 2 retests since then. But market structure is still good here. We just need to start clearing this level. Just keep making high highs. But risk reward to this was awesome. And it was again same kind of thing where it's just there's not a whole lot of structure because we've never been in this territory before. So we're gonna have a little bit of trouble here. Have a bit of trouble here as well, like on the way up, but from breaking that such a long downtrend, we go to the daily. You can see how oversold these things started getting on the RSI. I'm guessing the weekly is pretty close to. So nice and oversold, getting into oversold in the weekly. And we're going to get a 9 buy in 5 days, as long as we trade below that 5 there. So it's about the only trade I'm in at the moment. Do want to try and accumulate a fair chunk of this KuCoin share, because at some point I do think that Binance is going to have some competition, and I've used KuCoin and it's really nice. So basically put BitMEX inside it too. So we've got like KuMEX, I think it's called, which is basically exactly the same as BitMEX. So you can trade leverage, but everything gets settled in BTC, which is so much nicer than Binance's leverage. A little bit harder to use, but if you're fine with BitMEX, then you'll be fine with KuMEX. And then, yeah, I think it's very undervalued. So just trying to scalp and accumulate a bunch of these over on KuCoin. Let's have a look. Raven. Go back to the daily. Sorry, my voice is. It was shocking. So, same kind of thing. I posted a bunch of these up in the Discord. just looking at these same trends where we've had these really long downtrends and we found a few of these coins who have just broken out and are looking to create some new market structure. Low sat value, like 45 sats, but this thing traded at like 2k sats at some point. But yeah, break here, change of market structure. Looking for that break up the top of this resistance level, then trade that up. It's a nice little 48%. AVAX. I can't remember what this was, but it's sitting in this really, like this channel is so perfect to trade. Like really nice to trade. Didn't quite get there on that second one. Probably push that out a bit more. If I remember, there was a huge amount between. It was like 50%. So this thing trends just, comes to the bottom, goes back to the top, buying off. I think I was looking at buying this the other day, but didn't quite get to my buy zone. Probably could have set it a bit better. Being, this was that level of support. Been there multiple times. Sort of came to the end, but I didn't like the fact that it was still underneath that 50 moving average, and didn't quite get back to the bottom here. I was looking to really buy the bottom of this, but probably a missed opportunity there. But it was in the list just to keep an eye on. Did you buy it? Have a look. Lots of people love Did You Buy It. So the trade for this broke that long downtrend. There's a decent little percentage in there to the break. It's a good 30%. Now seem to be just holding this level, which is nice. It hasn't come back down and retested the 76 sats. I didn't realize that this thing was so low, but it does not that long ago. Okay, so I've charted this for somebody in the CoinSpot group, where I said it needs to break this resistance, and it eventually did, but it fell straight back in, came back, resistance. I think they were looking here when we had that break, and it had a little bit of a pop. Big amount of volume here, but just couldn't get past that resistance, and that's what we're really needing it to do, to trade higher. Came back in, rejected, and then eventually this support level here. Once that broke, it's gone from 200 sats down to 76. But just waiting for a change of market structure. Did you buy it? A clear level of resistance here. Got plenty of structure over to the left. Only been here once before. But you can see here it had like 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 candles. Just kept going. Couldn't get past. So for me, Did You Buy It buyers are above this sort of what I've drawn there already, where I want to break, come back, and then buy that retest. Pops out of here. That's going to be nice, really strong support since it's been such strong resistance. So still waiting on Did You Buy It, but wouldn't mind grabbing a bag of this. Try and scalp a bag for the next, it'll alt run. Plenty of passionate people about Did You Buy It. Still don't know what it does too much. Some sort of payment thing. eGold. I charted this for somebody in the same group, I think at some point. We're waiting for this level here, so I draw these boxes where I want things to close, especially in the 4 hour, and I'm looking for that retest. So I was waiting for this to pop up and a retest, or break down and then short that again. So we had the short here. I think I covered this in one of the videos this week. But now that we've come back up, if we go to the hourly, where the entry would have been. So here we started closing above, came back, got that entry back inside that box, and looking to trade up to the next level here. So we've got a nice little 36% back to this level. So not a bad little coin to trade, does trend well. And it could have got in at 400 sats a little while ago, done a good like 3x on the way up. Now it's waiting for that change in market structure, so I really want us to push up, get a nice little obviously it's like that get tested, but then the market structure change here. So we get that nice push right at the top, comes back, draw some fibs on it, find a nice level, probably around here where there's already some structure, and that create that new higher low, keeps making that higher high, and then above this area here, you know, there's reasonably clear skies, kind of. There's plenty of chop around there, but you know, there's going to be a nice little area to fill as it keeps moving up. So keeping an eye on that one, mostly because a bunch of people have been asking about it. Power. Must be the daily. What is that trend line I've drawn? Surely I've accidentally moved that. Again, same thing. 300 sats, pretty low for power. This thing had a massive pump in 2017, if anyone remembers. It was a lot of Australians, I think. But again, getting oversold here on the RSI. Coming to the end of a trend, MACD's having a bit of a, you know, looking like it possibly could cross. If you look at the historic, has gone a whole lot lower. But there was, oh man, what is this? Oh, that was when that's when the volume came in when it first got listed on I reckon it was like CoinSpot had it first, and then it got listed on Bittrex and just went fucking ballistic. There's people in Fremantle, sort of the mayor or something, I think it was, I can't remember, was involved with it. But again, waiting for this to break, and then create new market structure. Even once we break it, we're going to have some trouble as soon as we pop out. At this level here, which is going to be some pretty brutal resistance. So change of market structure for power, still waiting patiently. So for me, this does need to break that. You know, depends where we go from here, but my break and then buying that retest, it just needs to change. It's been on a downtrend for so long. Just waiting, but this is the area I'm looking for buyers once we start closing back above the 450 mark. No, love this coin, but again, same kind of thing. But if we go we zoom out, we can probably get rid of everything in here. Let's have a look. Yeah, again, historic lows. Don't know when these coins are going to stop. They'll tell us at some point when they start changing. But you know, you got a nice downtrend, bashed against it. Do like this project. Do have it for long holds. I bought the ICO of this thing back in 17 sometime. But you can see RSI again on these on the daily. Starting, you know, just been sitting oversold for a couple of weeks. ACD eventually going to cross back over and see if we can get a pop, but same as most of these coins, even when we pop that little downtrend here, we still got these big levels of resistance to deal with. So looking for buyers once we start closing above here. Have to get past both of those moving averages too. But we're starting to see these, you know, heaps of these altcoins have just been punished enough that they're eventually going to have to turn the corner, and just waiting for that new market structure. So look at a couple more coins, and I have to jump off, guys. My throat's killing me. Doji, bread, something I'm looking at. So if we go on the daily, just got a bit of divergence here. Went through and charted a bunch of stuff the other day. Just noticing that divergence, so just having a bit of a watch. We start changing market structure again. Same thing I'm waiting for all these alts. Don't want to be jumping in too early, but just waiting here, and need to get past that 50 moving average because it's been below it since like January. It's been a year. It's just been sitting below this. Well, it's kind of popped out here, but this is one of the things, like this coin, if we go back to like the monthly, from where it was trading at. It's down like 99% or something ridiculous. So these are the coins I'm looking at that have the most upside to get, but still waiting on changes and just trying to find things like this where you're getting, you know, the chart showing lower prices, RSI is telling a slightly different story. Like it's not a huge amount, but it's still kind of there. So just going through and looking at a bunch of these coins for that. I think that's it. Unless anyone wants me to check out some other coins, just chuck it in the chat if you guys want. Have a look at anything you want. Yeah, I'm exhausted from doing this loss 45 challenge. Yeah. Getting back into the you know, hour and a half of exercise, 2 lots of 45 a day, plus all the other things that we're doing. Came as a bit of a shock to the body. Everything's just a little sore at the moment, including my throat from talking. But that's it. Gonna finish it up there. Gonna keep trying to do these streams on Tuesdays. If there's not a huge amount of interest, I might just stick to the daily videos at over on YouTube. I can knock them out pretty quick. It does free up my Tuesday nights, but as they become more popular, hopefully we'll start getting some people jumping in for these streams. All right, thanks everyone for jumping in. See you guys on YouTube, Coin Spot Traders.